Welcome to The Man on the Moon. Today, we're going to go ahead and talk about a new series I'm going to start called What the FUD. And essentially, this series is going to be about talking about different cryptocurrencies, their tokenomics, maybe some of their backstory, and maybe some of my thoughts on that specific token or that specific cryptocurrency. There is a lot of different cryptocurrencies out there now. There's new ones that are coming up every single day. And I would like to talk about specific ones every now and then, maybe go over their history, where they come from, who their founders are, and maybe if I believe in that project or not, although that's completely subjective. So if you've got any coins you'd like me to go ahead and review later on in this series, just let me know. You can go ahead and comment below. So I'll be doing polls on Twitter to go ahead and try to gain an idea of what kind of cryptocurrencies or tokens people are looking to learn more about next. So today's coin we're going to talk about is Dogecoin. So Dogecoin has been taking the internet and basically the news by storm. At this point, if you haven't heard of Dogecoin, I'd be honestly super surprised with how much popularity it's seen, not only online in Reddit forums and on social media, but also just in the regular daily news. There's also been a lot of misinformation and conflicting information about Dogecoin, and I'm hoping I can go ahead and clear up some things for a lot of people here. So to start off, I wanted to go ahead and go over the history of Dogecoin. If you want to go ahead and skip the history portion and just want me to talk more about the FUD and about the tokenomics, go ahead and skip to this point in the video as you see it here on the screen, and you'll be able to go ahead and skip the history portion of this. However, I would recommend watching the history portion, even if you kind of already generally know the history of Dogecoin, because it is good to have a little bit of a refresher course on it. So Dogecoin started back in 2013 by Jackson Palmer. Essentially what happened was he was a product manager at Adobe, and during the crypto craze of 2013, he went onto Twitter and basically wrote a joke. He wanted people to invest in his new cryptocurrency called Dogecoin that he thought was going to be all the craze and the biggest hit. It was totally a joke. There was no Dogecoin cryptocurrency. He was just kind of poking fun at the craze that cryptocurrency was seeing at that time. To his surprise, there was actually a lot of people who retweeted this, who engaged with it, and actually found this to be somewhat of a good idea that he started to think maybe he should start taking more seriously. So he essentially created an actual website, Dogecoin.com, and bought the rights to that domain, as well as went ahead and created the actual logo for Dogecoin through Photoshop. Very quickly, the idea of Dogecoin became widely popular on the internet, especially in social media and Reddit in particular. On Reddit, there was a software developer by the name of Bill Marcus, who took an immediate interest to Dogecoin and actually went ahead and reached out to Jackson in order to see if he could get the permission in actually creating the Dogecoin cryptocurrency, and wanted to actually take this from just an idea or a concept to an actual cryptocurrency. He was able to gain that permission from Jackson, and they began to work together at actually launching Dogecoin, the actual cryptocurrency that launched in December of 2013. And within just a couple of weeks of its launch, it actually saw massive popularity and gained 300% in value in just a couple of weeks. From that point forward, Dogecoin was considered more of an internet joke. It wasn't supposed to be something that was serious. Even though it had seen a lot of popularity, it was still always meant to just be kind of this joke that was making fun of cryptocurrency. It wasn't anything that was supposed to have a real use case. It wasn't supposed to be a serious project. Eventually, people started to see Dogecoin used as a tipping method on Reddit and other online platforms. It was also used in several different mobile games because it was basically worth, fractions of a penny at that point and really held no substantial value. And this was basically the case for Dogecoin for several years until about 2018, when it actually launched on Robinhood. And when it launched on Robinhood, it was going for an evaluation of $0.002, or roughly 0.2 of a penny. Now, this obviously led to Dogecoin being a lot more accessible to a lot of people in and of the fact that they could essentially invest in a portion of Dogecoin, even though technically speaking on Robinhood, you don't own that Dogecoin. At least people were able to put money into it in some form, and people were holding it. And for the most part, Dogecoin did see some rises in value due to the fact that it was more easily accessible on Robinhood, as people could invest into it more like a stock than a true cryptocurrency, but at least people were putting money towards Dogecoin, and it did see some increases in value. Now, as we fast forward to the summer of 2020, which is just a couple of years after it launched on Robinhood, there was actually a campaign on TikTok where a lot of Dogecoin holders put out a Dogecoin challenge where they wanted to go ahead and have everyone collectively purchase Dogecoin in hopes of seeing it massively increase in its value. They were able to see about a 43% increase in Dogecoin's value simply from this Dogecoin campaign that they were running on TikTok. Now we fast forward to the 20th of December of 2020, and Elon Musk sends out a tweet with just one word: Doge. Now, just him saying that one tweet made Dogecoin go up in value about 25 to 30% in value simply from one tweet, which is kind of crazy when you think about how much power one person's tweet can have. At that point in the beginning of January, Dogecoin was sitting just under 1 penny at about $0.08 or 0.8 of a penny. Now, at the end of January, Dogecoin started to receive a lot of attention on its own subreddit, Dogecoin, as well as other cryptocurrency-related subreddits, such as Satoshi Street Bets. And of course, Elon Musk continued to show his support for Dogecoin in subtle hints. This led to Dogecoin exploding in value, going to an all-time high record of 8 cents in one day. Obviously, that had an immediate correction and came back down to settle around 3 to 4 cents, but slowly, Dogecoin started to gain a lot of popularity among several other supporters, such as Snoop Dogg and all of these other influencers you see here on this Simba meme. There was also a lot of rumors that the Super Bowl would see a Dogecoin commercial. In anticipation for the commercial, Dogecoin saw a new rise, hitting back up to about 8 cents. But when no Dogecoin commercial happened, that value started to slowly decline again back into the 7 and 6 cents range. After this, there was a long consolidation phase where Dogecoin was slowly dipping down to about the 5 cent range for over a month, until there was an announcement that there was going to be an official Dogecoin Day on April 20th. Now, Doge Day was pushed by a lot of different companies and influencers. We saw Slim Jim in particular talking about making a massive announcement about Dogecoin that would come out on the 20th, which ended up being an NFT. And so in anticipation for Doge Day, there was a massive spike in its value, bringing it all the way up to 36 cents in value. Fast forward to May, Dogecoin then gets listed on Webull as well as eToro. We start to see it get accepted by Mark Cuban, and the Mavericks started allowing it to be used as a way to pay for tickets and merchandise, as well as the A's allowing a couple of seats to be sold for Dogecoin. Dogecoin started to see a large increase in companies and other influencers taking a great and serious interest into Dogecoin. There was more accessibility to Dogecoin, which caused even more increases in its value. With Elon Musk going to appear on SNL, we also saw a massive increase in Dogecoin's value, averaging around 60 and getting up to an all-time high of 75 cents. On Saturday Night Live, Elon Musk did indeed mention Dogecoin.
My question is, what is Dogecoin?
I'm glad you asked.
It's a good question.
Well, it's the future of currency. It's an unstoppable financial vehicle that's going to take over the world.
Now, after SNL, there was a major decrease in the value, but every time we've seen a hype event with Dogecoin, we've seen the same pattern occur. So back on February 4th, there was actually a hype event where people wanted to pump up Dogecoin on February 4th of 2021. There was a pump, and then at 9 p.m. was supposed to be when everyone was supposed to initiate the pump. We saw a massive dump as wells started to pull their money out of that coin. This continued to happen on Super Bowl Sunday in anticipation for the commercial, and on Doge Day on 4/20. On that same day, we also saw a massive dump after whales took their profits after anticipation built up and the price surged before the actual events. That was no different with Saturday Night Live, and I've told a lot of people to try to refrain from investing in or getting excited for hype days, because typically this is the pattern that it follows. The coin will see some massive spikes in value in anticipation for the day, especially leading up to the days or hours up to that event, with a sudden downturn in the value as people cash out their gains. So now that we've talked about some of the prices and the history around Dogecoin, let's go ahead and talk about a lot of the FUD and use cases around Dogecoin. Is Dogecoin a good investment? Where is this going? Is the dollar really the limit that people are reaching for? Is it going to amount to more? What exactly is Dogecoin's end goal here? Now, as I mentioned in the history portion of this video, Dogecoin was created purely out of a joke. It had no real use case or intentions when it was created, other than to simply make fun of the cryptocurrency market and the idea of cryptocurrency. The fact that Dogecoin has seen massive amounts of gains in its value has actually flabbergasted the original creators of Dogecoin. In fact, back in 2015, the original creators of Dogecoin had actually left the project after just 2 years. Jackson Palmer mentioned that he was going to be taking a break out of the public space involving cryptocurrency, and Bill Marcus actually sold all of his Dogecoin to purchase a Honda Civic because he got laid off from his current job. The actual original creators of Dogecoin had actually left the project. Now, I've seen a lot of FUD online about people saying that that's actually when the developers left the team and that Dogecoin has not seen a development team since. This is actually totally false. Although the original creators of Dogecoin did indeed leave the project, they have always had a development team in charge of updating and working with the Dogecoin blockchain and cryptocurrency. That's actually how they're able to get listed on Robinhood, Binance, and these other major exchanges, was because of this current development team. Had that development team not been in place, there was no way that that cryptocurrency would have ever been able to make it on a Binance or really any other exchange at this point. Another thing you'll see a lot about Dogecoin, or a lot of FUD that's been spread around Dogecoin, is the fact that it's not decentralized, or rather, the top 100 wallets hold a massive proportion of Dogecoin. And although this is indeed true, it's actually believed that Robinhood is the top wallet of Dogecoin, which is actually a good thing because it means that Dogecoin, although it's held by Robinhood, is actually split up amongst the thousands of holders that Robinhood has of Dogecoin. Since Robinhood doesn't actually have individual wallets per holder, it has its own wallets that you basically hold a share or a proportion of. Taking out that top wallet and the several other wallets that are believed to be held by Robinhood, it actually severely reduces the amount of concentration in these top wallets that we have for Dogecoin. Now, another thing we hear a lot about Dogecoin and maybe some FUD around it is its infinite supply. And this is true. Dogecoin does have an infinite supply. So Dogecoin started with a 100 billion coin supply, and it increases in its supply 5 billion coins every single year. Now, this may seem like a crazy amount of Dogecoin, and it really is. That is a massive amount of Dogecoin to be coming into circulation every year. Since its creation to now in 2021, that increase in supply is actually fixed. So it's not going to increase or decrease in proportion to the amount of Dogecoin that's already in circulation. We are going to see a fixed 5 billion new Dogecoin every single year, year after year after year, basically forever. Now, again, that is a large number, and a lot of people do talk about how that supply is something that can't be outpaced. But in reality, that increasing supply of Dogecoin averages out to be just over 4% annually, which is almost in line with current fiat currencies today. And because that rate is fixed, that percentage will actually go down in proportion to the current supply of Dogecoin, with Dogecoin eventually getting to a point where the new increased supply will become insignificant. Now, that will take hundreds of years to get to that point, but to give you an idea, it will take 25 years for Dogecoin to double its current supply, which goes to show that although it is 5 billion coins a year, and that does seem like a lot, it's really not a crazy amount. And now it's actually because of this infinite supply that a lot of Dogecoin supporters are starting to realize that Dogecoin could actually have a real use case, even though it wasn't intended to. In and of the fact that because of this supply being infinite, and because it is a meme and it's not something that's taken so seriously, people are more willing to give up their Dogecoin or actually transact with it, in relation to something like Bitcoin, where people hoard it and don't want to get rid of it, knowing that it's only going to increase in value, and the blockchain times are far too long for that to be used as a daily use cryptocurrency. With Dogecoin's blockchain being so quick, its transaction costs so low, and its supply infinite, people are going to be more willing to actually exchange it. I've mentioned this before in my other videos, but you can move over $1 million worth of Dogecoin in a matter of a minute or two, and at the cost of less than $1. So when you think about that, that would actually make a lot of the banking systems that we have become basically obsolete, especially when you're moving large quantities of money. But other than moving large sums of money, Dogecoin also has a really good use case because since the blockchain is so fast and the transaction fees are so low, it actually does make sense to use it for things like buying milk or bread or any other daily use thing that you would want to purchase, whether that's on Amazon or any other product, good, or service. Because the transaction costs aren't so high, because the blockchain executes so quickly, and because the value in comparison is so much better. A lot of people don't want to be buying things with decimal points in front of them, like Bitcoin, where it's 0.000001 Bitcoin for, a gallon of milk. Instead, you could say this is going to be 3 Dogecoin or 2 Dogecoin or 5 Dogecoin, depending on the value. That's a lot more palatable for a lot of people, especially considering it was intended as a joke. It has no ulterior motive. It's something that people can relate to regardless of what country or what area of the world they live in. And I believe that's part of the reason why Elon Musk says it's the people's cryptocurrency. It can be in a cryptocurrency that can be exchanged on a daily basis for daily goods and services. Now, whether Dogecoin does go on to become the cryptocurrency of the future as more people start to accept it and as it continues to increase in value, or if later down the road totally crashes and burns, no one can really know. Now, personally, I do believe in Dogecoin. I think it's going places. I think the proposed use cases that people have given it, that can become legitimate. People don't prescribe it to have an ulterior motive, since the original creators are completely away from the project, and because it was indeed intended as a joke, instead of having a more serious purpose, or the founder still being a part of the development team holding thousands and thousands of the cryptocurrency. I myself will personally continue to hold Dogecoin. Everything I've said today is not financial advice. Please only invest money into any cryptocurrency that you can afford to lose. And I wish you the best of luck in investing in any cryptocurrency, whether that be Dogecoin like we've talked about today, or the other major cryptocurrencies, or the new cryptocurrencies that are coming out every single day. Thank you so much, guys, for sticking with me through this video. I hoped I was able to answer some questions about Dogecoin, maybe explain some of its history for you, and maybe clear up some questions I've seen with a lot of FUD around Dogecoin. I really do think that Dogecoin is becoming a serious project, and it is indeed developing its own use case as a daily exchange cryptocurrency, basically as an international fiat currency replacement, which I think is pretty cool. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next week.
If you believe we put a man on the moon, man on the moon.
Oh, this is awkward. Didn't know you're still here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and of course click the notification bell. Bye.